Let me ask you a question. How easy is it to become all too familiar with those close to us? And is this familiarity becoming an issue? Or is the issue contempt and lack of gratitude where it really matters? My name is David Tensen, and we are on day 13 of the 21 Days of Blessing. Thank you so much for joining me live or via recording from wherever you are in the world. Thank you and bless you. Thank you to all those that have been part of the 13 days so far, and welcome to all our new group members as well. So good to have you here. As always, feel free to share this, tag somebody who you think might be interested, or add them to the group. On this 13th day, we're going to backtrack a little bit to John chapter 4, and we're going to read from John chapter 4, verses 43 through to the end of the chapter. Here, Jesus is returning to Galilee, the place where he turned water into wine. We read that in the second day, I think it was. It was generally known, and Jesus testified himself, that prophets were not honored or recognized in their own hometown. But we read that Jesus is delightfully welcomed. There you go. Especially by a government official who was in deep need. Maybe he had an agenda. You see, his son was sick and dying. He was desperate for Jesus to come to his home in Capernaum and heal his son. That was what his agenda was. Reading from verse 48 onwards, I'm going to read to you from the Passion Translation paraphrase, which is something we're enjoying for this series. And notice how Jesus heals the boy beyond time and space. This is fascinating. Jesus says to him, "Why do you refuse to believe until you see signs and wonders?" But the man continued to plead, "You have to come with me to Capernaum before my little boy dies." Jesus looks him in the eyes and says, "Go back right now. I promise you, your son will not die." The man believed it in his heart, the words of Jesus, and set off for home. When he was still a distance from Capernaum, his servant meets him on the road, tells him the good news: "Your son is healed, and he's alive." Overjoyed, the father asks his servant, "When did my son recover?" "Yesterday," he said, "at 1 p.m. All at once his fever broke, and now he's well." Then the father realizes that this was the very same hour that Jesus spoke to him: "Your son will live and will not die." So from that day forward, the man and all his family and servant believed, and Jesus' second extraordinary miracle in Galilee after coming from Judea. That's what it was. So when it comes to Jesus responding to the requests of others, one thing is strikingly obvious to me as I read through the Gospels and see God work in our own life. That faith and desperation for breakthrough moves Jesus to respond. And it's cries for help. It's prayer and cries for help. It is not terms and conditions. You do not have a contract arrangement with Jesus. We have a covenant relationship with him. Amen? It's a covenant. It's a testament, a new covenant. In fact, he most often does more than we could ask, hope, or imagine. Let's not put God in a box. As a friend of mine, Gary Morgan, says, his name is Jehovah, not Jack. So let's not put him in a box. Let's welcome and delight in him for who he is today. So today I want to bless you with the boldness to approach God's throne, his throne of grace, so that you may receive mercy and find grace to help you in a time of need. And may that boldness be grounded in knowing that he's answered your prayers before, knowing that miracles happen, and that today could be the day that Jesus works on your behalf. I bless you with delighting in the encounter with him, in having him tangibly walk back into your life at your moment of need. I also pray for those listening and watching who've walked as Christians for many years. I'm coming on 22 years. I pray that, and I'm praying this for myself too, that we would not fall into this trap of familiarity and contempt, where we take for granted the Spirit of God and the presence of Jesus in our lives, the miracle of salvation, and what has become very normal to us. May the delight and the fire of God's first love be ignited in your heart today, and I bless you with being found, singing with all creation, To him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be blessing, then honor, glory, and might forever. Why are we speaking about blessing? Why do we begin the year with blessing? Why is it so dear to my heart? Because it is blessing, then honor, then glory, and then might. So we bless God, and today I bless and give you permission again to keep chasing, to hold on there, to believe for the miracles that you want in any area of your life. Who knows what Jesus may do when you connect with him. Again, my name is David Tensen. This is day 13 of the 21 Days of Blessing. It's great to have you with us. As always, feel free to like, share, comment, and add your friends to the 21 Days of Blessing group. The link is in the description for those who are watching this for the first time. Shalom, and I will see you tomorrow for day 13 of the 21 Days of Blessings.